Hey, good evening, everybody. This is your boy back and better than ever, D. Cott, with a special guest I'll introduce in a few minutes. But first of all, I want to give my shout out to our sponsor. That's Mac Gaddis of State Farm. For all your insurance needs, call my guy Mac. Phone numbers in the streamer there on the bottom, 317-894-3865 for all your insurance needs. Our second sponsor, Wired to the Nines. Any low voltage, any cameras in your home, wireless, internet, reach out to my guys at Wired to the Nines. Their information is in the thread as well. So without further ado, I want to introduce my guy, my fellow troll, my guy Reggie Sykes. Welcome to the show, Reggie.
I don't know how I really get that. I'm not really a troll, but I tend to defend myself. I don't really troll. I just get attacked and I defend myself uh, very well. So I don't really think I should be the king of troll. I think I should be Reggie the defender. That's what I should
The
be.
defender.
Yeah,
Okay. Hey,
yeah.
fair
Defending
enough.
my
That's what we're
honor.
gonna call you
Yeah.
tonight. You are the defender tonight. No worries. Hey, so we're gonna hit some topics, man. This Cott's Corner. We get hard, late breaking facts over feelings. I want to start kind of in chronological order, Reggie. The big story of the week, obviously, is the 12-team playoff. The Sunday conversation we had, multiple layers that were people a little upset, questioning, the committee's intentions, all these other things, man. So I want to kind of lay it out to you first. I know that we've had some good conversations, but I want to give it to you first and give me your thoughts on what happened on Sunday and how things went.
So first of all, I like to instigate a lot. So I say a lot of things that I may not necessarily agree with, but I may be saying those just to uh, promote discussion and argument and to probably get on a few people's nerves. And I think one of them I said was the president of the committee is from the SEC, and of course he wants the SEC teams to be in it. But I am a Notre Dame fan. I'm an Indiana fan. I cheer for all the schools in Indiana. I know, Darrell, you don't agree with that, but I cheer for Indiana. I cheer for Purdue. I cheer for Vincennes. I cheer for Butler. I cheer for Notre Dame. I cheer for everything Indiana. Plus, I love Southern University, of course, where I went to school at. But I see both ways of this. I don't see the conference championship going away because conferences are making too much money on it. But I do understand that if I'm gonna be penalized in it while playing it. But it's too much money. They're making too much money off the TV and rights to turn that away. I do understand why they picked Alabama. The SEC is probably one of the better conferences. We're gonna see here coming up. There's a couple of Big Ten SEC matchups coming in that we're gonna see about. I do I do understand why they picked Alabama because Alabama had a heck of a schedule. But if you're going to go by the rules and regulations, Alabama shouldn't be in. And I'm not just saying that because I don't like Alabama. I'm
No, you
saying that
wouldn't say that.
because
No.
no, 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 no. But I'm also going to say I understand why they picked them because strength of schedule and because of the teams that they played in the SEC. But to me, you cannot overlook. I know it's the first week that lost to Florida State. Now I understand that you put Miami in, and I can see where it been between Notre Dame and Alabama because Miami beat Notre Dame, and Notre Dame also lost to Texas A&M. So I kind of see both sides of the story. So I'm probably going to err on the side of Notre Dame because hey, I'm a Notre Dame fan.
So talk to me about James Madison? You talking about a team? There wasn't an automatic bid for James Madison. Had a good season. They lost one game. That was to Louisville earlier in the year. So
Mhm.
that was the highest rated team that James Madison played all year. Give me your thoughts on that. I know there's a lot of conversation about Bama, and
Um,
again, that's
you,
the big fish. And I get that, not just with you,
you
but talk about James Madison.
Well, it's not necessarily like basketball. You can get where a Daytona may beat a IU or a Purdue. You can get where a small school may be able to compete on a bigger scale. You can get the Butlers that can make it back to championships back to back in basketball. And I'm guessing, I don't know, I don't have any proof, but I suspect that football is trying to include everybody like basketball. There's no way they can do that. Now, I don't think James Madison is nowhere near as good as some of these teams that got picked, but I hope they surprise the world. I hope they surprise
So
the world.
so when you say that, right? We talked about Tulane is in, and they're a 17-point dog, right? I think James Madison is a 19-point dog, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
you talk about the other 10 teams that we just talked about that should be in there. And I think that miss, you could talk about Notre Dame, but I'm starting to hear some small grumbles, not from the university itself, but from fans about Vanderbilt. 10-2 with an SEC schedule, and they didn't play in an SEC title game as well. So,
Yeah.
one of the things I've been talking about is listen, I don't want it to increase to 16 teams, but it's going to happen, man. You just said it. Money. It's the dollar sign. Oh, I think you froze up on me. It's the dollar signs on there. And I think until they get something figured out, they're going to look to grow and grow and grow. And just like the NCAA basketball tournament, man, you and I are old enough to remember it was 32 teams.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Exactly.
70 now. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so what do you think about that? What do you think the sweet spot is when we're talking about you know college football playoff and the sweet spot of teams?
So let me tell you, first of all, I lost my internet connection here I'm at work and my internet went out. So I missed a little bit of your conversation, but I understand exactly where you're coming from. I just think they want everybody's money, small school, big school money. Football can't be done like basketball because it's a much bigger playing field. Well, Coach Cincinnati may be messing that up because a lot of his players at IU last year came from James Madison. So I,
Yeah,
I, I don't know the answer. I just know they want everybody's money. And if you don't include the small schools in it, that may lead to another revolt. You may have the Big Ten, the Pac-12, the SEC, and the ACC on their own, and then everybody else off on their own. So everybody got to feel like they're included and have a chance to win. I just don't think football can be done like basketball because you may have a good starting four or five on both sides of the ball, but
hmm
when you get in the third and fourth quarter, when you rotate players in, they still got 4 or 5 stars, and you still got two or three, and you dropping off in weight, size, and strength. I think it does matter. Um, man, I think the key in what they really want to do is more money, more TV, more football games. They
yeah.
want to expand, which I agree with, but I don't think they should go over 16 to 20 teams. I think it's about it. Nobody else goes. My school,
Well,
Southern University, wouldn't be able to compete. They just don't have the size. They don't have the
th-
players. They don't have
think about this, man. They after 1 year of a 12-team playoff, and I said this on another show we had. After 1 year, a 12-team playoff, they started talks about a 16-team playoff. What the talks were stalled early December, end of November, early December. The reason why was Big Ten and the SEC. Now I'm not in the room in the debate and the argument, but I guarantee you this: the debate and the issue was guaranteed spots.
Mhm,
Guarantees. That's what they're looking for. Greg
mhm,
Sankey's already talked about even this season. He said, "Hey, it should be 7 teams in from the SEC." And then you've got the Big Ten commissioner saying, "Why wouldn't Michigan be?" And they play Ohio State tough and all these things, right? So what I say, and I don't believe that, but what I say with that is though,
Their record
it
again?
say again.
What was Michigan's record again?
I think they were 8-3 if I remember right. I'm not 100% sure, but the
I'm
point
not
being is the
sure.
all the talk and all the rage is what about us? And I think if you have a 16 team playoff, and again, I want to be clear, I don't want a 16 team playoff. I want a 12, but it's going to go to at least 16. And don't be surprised if the SEC and the Big Ten both have 4 guaranteed spots. That's 8
Mhm,
out of the 16, and then you've got 8 whatever. So maybe the Big 12 has 2 guaranteed spots, and maybe the ACC has 1. And now you're talking about 8 and 3, it's 11. Now you got 5 at large bids. The
mhm.
hang up is guaranteed spots, and if they can come to grips on the guaranteed spots on where they are, Reggie, I'm telling you, maybe not this coming season, but season after this one coming up, you're looking at a 16 team playoff, man.
It's all about the almighty dollar. I mean, I've said this hundreds of times. There's 50 million reasons why Notre Dame doesn't want to go to a conference because they get all that money, but which is probably a little bit more now. But if you look at the money the SEC and the Big Ten are getting from their TV networks, hey, I think some of them are getting 350 million but you divide it by 10. Well,
Right, right.
400 million, and you divide it by 12.
But here's the other thing with that Notre Dame piece, Reggie. And I know people don't want to hear this, but the reason why Notre Dame picked the ACC because the ACC was the only conference that was going to allow them to go part time as a
Mhm,
football program. Now,
mhm,
every other program in Notre Dame is all 100% ACC, right?
mhm,
So what's going to happen with this? With the athletic director for Notre Dame, he talked tough about the ACC, but where you
mhm.
going to go, bro? You
You ain't
ain't
got
going
no
to the
help.
Big Ten is not going to have that because they don't need you like that. The
Mhm.
SEC doesn't need you like that. So now you're talking about, are we going to go to Big 12?
No.
Well, that's my point. So,
Yeah.
so with that said, he's got to be careful of overshooting his skis.
It's between the ACC, Big Ten, and SEC. Um, maybe if they would bring back playing, well, they brought back playing Miami. Maybe they would bring back playing Florida State. Maybe they would bring back
In the same
playing
season.
Michigan.
In the same season, though, that's
Right.
the thing. You look at this. The one year they'll play Clemson, the next year they'll play Miami, or vice versa, right?
You're right. I didn't think about it like that. You're right.
And,
Yeah.
and that's the challenge. What they're saying is, listen, Notre Dame, I get it that you're in a conference, but it's the fourth best conference of the top four.
Mhm.
So you got to do a little bit better than Boston College, Syracuse, North
Mhm.
Carolina states of the world. You got to do Navy, Stanford. You got to do better. And I don't know what made them get rid of the Michigan series. I liked the Michigan series when it was Notre Dame, and they flipped that and they replaced it. If I remember right, they replaced it with. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head now, but they replaced it with a lesser team.
Purdue or somebody,
Right.
I
But
just
so
think Notre Dame used to be in the 80s when I was at Southern. We used to talk trash, and Notre Dame played the Michigans, the Miamis, Florida States, the
tough
USC,
team.
UCLA's. They played them.
Nebraska when they were hot in the early 90s.
Yes. I like Notre Dame, but they're gonna have to. They may have to get Rutgers off the schedule. They may have to get Purdue off the schedule. It's okay to have a cream puff or two. Everybody has a cream puff or two just to see
Yeah.
what your players are made of. You're gonna have to up that schedule. And right now, I don't know if it's possible because scheduling look like it's done 2 or 3 years in advance.
And that's the
So
other thing. It's years out in advance unless you pay that team out. Like if you got
right.
a quote unquote cupcake, you got to pay them out. They still get the money, but you can adjust. Sort of like Indiana did, and it was NC State wasn't a cream puff compared to what Indiana was looking at, but they took them off their schedule, right? But you got to
Mm-hmm.
pay them, right? So
Mm-hmm.
so that's a dynamic, man, that people don't talk about, but it's real, you know.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
And IU has that money coming in now. They're going to have these facilities coming in. They're going to start probably getting a few recruits that were thinking about Michigan and
yeah,
Ohio State
yeah,
and
yeah.
Notre Dame. No, I mean, think about it. The center from Notre Dame transferred into IU because his guaranteed starting spot wasn't guaranteed anymore. There was somebody coming in that they in the transfer portal
Yeah.
that was going to take his spot. He's
So
actually
with that, that's a good point, right? Transfer portal and NIL, right? Those two things have leveled the playing field, right? You had those times where you have teams could stack up players, and you'd have a 4-star waiting until his third year. That wasn't about money, it's just because they wanted to play for those big name coaches. Now it's not so much as playing for that big name coach; it's now paying for that big name money, right? So things are balancing out, and I don't see that changing, Reggie. I don't see the Alabamas of the 2000s happening again like that. USC's of the early 2000s, right? I see you see some great teams, and you may catch lightning in a bottle, but being a 10-year run, I don't see that happening because these players, 18, 19, 20-year-old, and listen, I think it's 1.8% of all college football players are going to step foot on an NFL field and play NFL football. What about that other 98%? You're going to go get that bag, right? Because Canada's not there for you. Canada has guaranteed spots for Canadian players, and there's no other real football league out there. So these players are listening to their parents and these pseudo agents and saying, "Go get the bag." Oh, you hit mute? Did you mute? Oh, try that. Unmute. Oh, Reggie's got some internet challenges there. He's in the dungeons of an undisclosed location, so he's got some challenges.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
I
now?
got
Can
you.
you hear me?
I got you. You changed your name. I like that.
Yeah. Well, some of us poor people that work nights, we have to come to work. Everybody can't sit at home and not do anything and work from home.
I'm
Us
working. This
real
is work.
blue collar workers really work hard too. So yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
pivot. Let's pivot to the NBA, right? You and I obviously this is year 13 for us as season ticket holder for our beloved Pacers. We realize what type of year this is going to be, but let's talk big picture NBA, not just the Pacers. Of course, we're going to get on the Pacers because it's my damn show. I can talk about the Pacers. But with that said, let's start away from the Pacers. Let's talk about Oklahoma City. I got a question for you. Do they have a chance to win 75 games this year?
Let me tell you something, man. The great equalizer in any sport, whether it's hockey, football, not backgammon, tennis, any sport that requires movement, injuries are real, and injuries can derail your season. And we're seeing it across all leagues. We're seeing that injuries are hurting not only the Pacers, but they're hurting other teams also.
Yeah.
OKC has a chance of winning it all, long as injuries don't start affecting them. And they're a deep team. Do you realize they have LA?
Pause for a second. Can you see that comment on the screen?
Oh, Texas.
That's Cott Jr. at work, acting like he's working hard. Man, nobody want to hear nothing about Texas. We moved on to the NBA. We don't want to hear that stuff.
Why does he have Go Texas with a picture of who's that on that picture?
I think that's Big Dog's son. I think that's Big Dog's son, Glenn Robinson Jr.
Okay. Texas can't even compete in the SEC, but we're talking basketball right now. But next time I come on your show, we can zoom back to that. But I just think, okay, see, it's for real. And the Pacers would be for real. They would battle them for real. The very first game of the season, the Pacers were battling without Tyrese and without Miles Turner. They only lost by 6 points.
Yeah,
they battled.
That was probably one of their best played games all season.
Yes, even though they took the L. But OKC's deep. They're so deep.
They're beyond deep, man. People aren't coming close, Reggie. They're not coming close.
What are they going to do with another number 1 draft pick next year from the Clippers?
What I said to my co-host on this show, and I said, if there's going to be a team, a dynasty, I'd rather it be a small market team. I'd rather it be the Pacers, but if it's not the Pacers, I'm all in for Oklahoma City. Now, my co-host is a big Laker fan, and he thinks it's Armageddon. I don't think that at all, because all those first round picks aren't going to be able to play. They're going to parlay that into something else, some other players, and have it extend out. They can't do what Boston did and drop the bag. Boston had all those ones years ago, and they got a couple of players out of there. But for all the picks they had, it didn't result in what they thought. They had remember they had to trade with the New Jersey Nets with KD, KG, and Pierce and all the It just didn't pan out. I hope it pans out.
When it comes time to pay the piper, that's what counts. You can't afford to pay all of them and risk going into the second level of the luxury tax.
I got 3 guys on maxed out now, Reggie. 3 guys are maxed out right now.
They're gonna have to maintain their bench, and the other players are probably on rookie contracts, which helps them. But in year 4 or year 5, some of those players are going to be traded away for draft picks because nobody wants that second level luxury tax. It costs you draft picks, I think.
You can't trade. You're limited in trades. You're limited in any type of all-season moves. It really restricts you. And but for me, if it's going to be a team that is a dynasty, I have zero, and I mean zero issue with it being Oklahoma City rather than any team in LA.
Mhm,
That's Clippers, LA, Lakers,
mhm.
Boston, Miami, Chicago, insert team here. Knicks, if the Knicks, that we know what the Knicks are, but they're a big market, right? So them and also the New Jersey Nets as well. I'd much rather be Oklahoma City than any of those teams
And
right
if you
here.
know what, that's what I'm talking about. I don't hate OKC. They play the game the right way. I
Yeah,
like them. I
why hate
met
them?
Shade's father at the cigar bar. It was really cool. But I think we're going to have to redefine dynasty. Back in the day, dynasties last for 10 years, 11 years, 12 years. Teams
Call
were,
it a window dynasty.
yes, a big one. You got to look at a dynasty in windows of 4 to 5 years. Can I win 2 rings in 4 years? Can I win 3 rings in 5 years? Look, they're calling Kansas City Chiefs a dynasty. How many rings have they won? What, two? Or is
It
it
was
three?
three. They got three. But remember, won three and lost two. They had 5 Super Bowl visits. That's pretty
Yeah,
damn good in this
the Buffalo.
climate with free agency.
Exactly. And you know why they're hurting now? Because they couldn't maintain that team because the salary cap, they've lost a lot of players.
Well, they
You
held
know,
on.
you got
Listen, Kelsey, remember we didn't like New England, right? We hated them together. Bill Belichick would rather let you go a year too early than a year too
yes,
late. Did you
yes,
see Kelsey this past week?
yes, yes,
I think
yes,
they
yes,
kept
yes.
him a year or two too long.
Yes, maybe 1 year too low, or maybe
He can play.
Taylor
He
Swift.
can still
Maybe
play. He can still play, but man, you talking about a drop off, man.
the team's gonna key in on you a little bit more now. But you would think with the wide receivers that they have, they wouldn't be able to key in on him as much. But Father Time has never been defeated.
Yeah.
Well, in the case of Dan Fouts, Father Time has never been not Dan Fouts, um,
Oh,
San
you talking about
Diego,
the
the
Kansas City?
quarterback.
You talking about the Kansas City quarterback?
No, the quarterback that the coach just picked up.
Oh,
Um,
Phillip Rivers.
yeah, yeah. Father
Hey,
Time.
it's okay.
Oh
San
my
Diego
goodness.
Chargers. Hey, listen, we
Oh my.
listen. I still call them the San Diego Chargers. And matter of fact, that's Scott Junior's other favorite team, the Chargers. So he's all messed up.
Now
But
that's
yeah,
another subject. We don't even have to
Greg,
talk about that.
I saw this post. I made this post today. Think about this, man. Every year out of high school, there are at least 12 4 and 5 star quarterbacks. Okay.
Mhm.
Every year coming out of high school. What does it tell you that the Indianapolis Colts got to go on the scrap heap, get a guy who's a grandfather, and to hang their hats on a chance for him to bring them out of something? That tells
This
me it's about Reggie. It's only about 20 to 25 good, good to great. And when I say good, I'm talking about the line of demarcation, good and above quarterbacks in the league. It shouldn't be that way. Where's all this talent evaluation? Where are all these guys, McShay and all these guys that make a lot of money talking about players? Dude, it's 20 to 25 good and above quarterbacks in the league right now. And some would probably
well,
say they don't agree with that.
it's probably less. You got some quarterbacks that'll get you by game.
Hey, look, you cannot keep on freezing up on me. You got that Jonathan Bird song internet. So I apologize for Reggie. Reggie, he's got that east side dial up coming from all the way from his job. He got the little frown on his face. I think what he was saying was he doesn't even believe that there's 20 good quarterbacks in the league. He thinks it's less than that. I know we've been talking about it in our chat groups and all of that like that. There he's back again. He woke up.
Look, next time I'm a guest on your show, I'll do it from my house. I do have high speed internet at my house. I'm
Hey,
actually
look, you
using
got
the
the
internet on
dial-up.
the
I
phone.
see the dial-up machine behind you back there.
Hey, man, no, that's a GFC. I'm at work, man. I'm busting my butt at work here, man. Give me a break, But next time I agree to be a guest on your show, I will do it from my house where I will not be interrupted by the Wi-Fi connection going in and out. So yeah, they probably T-Mobile's probably throttling me right now. I'm probably using up too much data or something. So yeah. But
Hey, my boy Brandon chiming in. He said it's
I
not enough
see.
mic time for both of us. What we say?
What's up, Crossroads Sports? What's up? What's up, Brandon?
I
Reed.
got it, man. But
Yeah,
no,
but
back to the quarterback. You were making a point about the quarterback piece.
yeah. I understand why the coach went with him because he has a familiarity with the playbook and the coach already. But you mean tell me, well, Ellinger didn't want to come back from the Denver Broncos practice squad. I know people were saying, well, Cam, like, I can come here and play. Then I know David Carr was somebody I could come here and play. Yeah, you probably could, but that's at the beginning of the season. You don't know the coach playbook. You don't know the coach receivers. Dan, I mean, not Dan. Why do I keep calling him Dan Fouts?
Phillip Rivers. Because you're thinking about
Phillip,
the greatest quarterback in San Diego Charger history. That's why.
yeah, Phillips Rivers does have a connection with Pittman because he threw him his first touchdown pass. He could probably be a groomer for Riley Leonard if he's not able to play. I see Phillips as being a teacher. He may even be good for Richardson when he comes back. I really don't anticipate Richardson coming back this year, but I do anticipate the coach holding on to it for next year because what are you going to do? Daniel Johnson, you're probably going to give him a little short-term contract with a lot of
He's probably out
incentives.
next year, Reggie.
Right, but
If he tore an Achilles in December, he's a quarterback. That's a 1 year. I know Isaiah said, well, one of the talking heads said it could be only 9 months. Well, I've never seen a talking head in the operating room before. That's a 1 year
not
injury.
for football.
Right. So you talking December. So he's gone for next season.
So you have to keep Richardson. It's a good thing they didn't trade him away.
Yeah.
And Phillip may be the perfect guy. I mean, I think Daniels and
At
Phillips.
45,
I'm talking about to put him up under the wing. Because Joe
okay, so
Flacco would go put
like a pseudo assistant.
Yes, Joe Flacco wasn't putting Richardson up under the wing. You know, he said, "I come here to start. I'm not putting him under my wing. You know, I don't have nothing against him. I come to play." You know, uh, uh, your fatherly instincts is, Father Time is behind you. So if I can help this young guy out, I can. If Riley's ready to go, if his knees hurt, I see Philip Rivers schooling him and helping him out because Philip Rivers actually trained Leonard a little bit. He trained a couple of other quarterbacks. They worked out with him before, so they're open to listen to him.
What do you expect from him, though? Okay, so the Colts, they've got 4 games left. Let's be honest. We're taking our team hats off. We're taking our team hats off.
Alex Pierce will not get a long ball unless the offensive line holds up. A lot of quick, short stuff, the Downs and Warren and Pittman. That long ball
Give
is that
me your answer. Come on, Jimmy the Greek. They got 4 games. Give me a record of the last 4 games.
They're going to win in Seattle because of the hype. They're going to lose to San Francisco. They're going to
1-1.
Lose to Texas. And they're
1-2.
going to shock the world, beat Jacksonville.
So you're saying 2-2. So that puts them at 10-7. Mm-hmm. Now you realize they've got a game with the Texans and Jacksonville left, and you realize Jacksonville's got, I think, 2 games left with the Nashville. I said Nashville. I was at Nashville Titans, Tennessee Titans in Nashville.
The Colts have the hardest schedule.
That's my point.
Teams that they have since this left. And I say 2-2 because, I put my fandom in, and you said not 2, but Jacksonville is in here, and I think that they're going to want to pay Jacksonville. They're gonna want to beat Jacksonville. Well, I could have said Texans too, but realistically,
payback. Are you saying payback? Because that butt whooping last week is what you saying? You saying payback?
They're not going to be able to beat Texans in Texas. They're not going to be able to do it. I think that the hype of Philip Rivers and everything and everybody counting casts against them, they should be able to beat Seattle. I'm a little bit more worried about our defense with Ward being out for the season with 3 concussions. He should probably, I hate to admit it, consider retirement. I mean, 3 concussions can make you a little bit nervous.
That was 2 this year, right? Was that 2 this year?
He had 3 this year. At the beginning of training camp, he had 1. He had 1 in training camp.
I didn't know that, man. That's tough, man.
Yeah. So if we get DeForest Buckner back to shore up the middle, Anything is possible. I didn't think I was gonna like the defensive coordinator from Cincinnati, but I do like the schemes. I do like that he will come out there. Your old defensive coordinators that bend don't break, never blitz. I didn't like that, but he will try to light you up a little bit.
He'll light them up.
Um, um,
Do you? Let me ask you this: with all the injuries that the Colts had and the back end, defensive line, obviously two quarterbacks, receivers, do you can they? I don't think they can hold up, man. I'm just gonna say, I'm just gonna, and I'm being as fair as I can be. I just don't think they can hold up, man. This isn't week 3. Those guys
okay.
aren't coming. I'll say Kool-Aid McKinstry. Sauce Gardner's not coming back this year. That calf injury is real. Listen. You and I
Mm-hmm.
sat there and saw a hell of a player who had a calf injury, who happened to wear Pacers uniform.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want that. Let that man heal. His contract is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Have him come back. Have him come back next season. And if you get in the playoffs, great. You could. You can catch lightning in a bottle like '95 when Marshall Faulk was there. Remember against that
Yeah.
run they had with Jim Harbaugh.
If
I
you're gonna
just don't
sit
think you
here,
put your guys in harm's way.
if you're gonna sit here, you might as well sit DeForest Buckner and not let him come back. You might as well start playing for next year. But if they win two of these games, they're gonna bring him back. Um, 2-2 may make the playoffs. We'll see. You never know in the NFL.
Hey, I gotta
My
cut you off,
pace.
my boy, Jonathan. Man, look, bro, been retired for 5 years. JB's in chiming in. Hey, we've
I
been talking about
know.
today.
I know.
JB is not on the Phillip Rivers bandwagon, man.
I know. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. If this doesn't work, it's time for the GM to go. I'm not gonna put it on the coach because coach figured he has a working relationship with Philip Rivers. He coached him in San Diego or whatever. So he has a relationship with him. He's comfortable with him. Rivers may know his playbook and his jargon for words, what they bring in, call into play. Not happy about Philip Rivers, but I don't think I would be happy about Cam Newton or David Carr either.
I
I
don't
would
think
probably
there's a
feel a
guy
little bit.
out there you'd be happy with, Reggie, because there's not enough good
Sam
quarterbacks.
Sam Ellinger, the the guy that carried around the clipboard here for a long time, that's on the Denver Broncos practice squad. I would be a little bit more comfortable with him because he can at least scramble and protect himself, even though he
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
throw the ball necessarily all that good. Hey, my coach fandom wants us to make the playoffs.
So
On
was
my
that your
on my
hand? You want to pivot to the Pacers? We talked enough about the coach. You want to pivot to the
no no no
Pacers?
no 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 no. On the real talk, I wouldn't bet money on the Colts making the playoffs, and that's my team. My heart wants them to make it, but he turned it down. Yeah, he did turn it down. Did he didn't want to come back? He was pissed off the way they. That is true. Okay.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of he lost respect for him, right? And I think that's what
Mm-hmm.
got the Colts in the catch bag. Here's the other thing,
Mm-hmm.
though, Reggie. They gave up the number 1 for Sauce, man.
Two.
So
Two.
this year I'm talking about the one
Mm-hmm.
you want to draft one at a time. So they're
Mm-hmm.
in the catch bag. You have to let Sauce stay off the field for the rest of the season
Mm-hmm.
and come back regular next year, because if you don't, you're in a world of hurt. But the biggest thing for the Colts, not only those injuries, listen, you got to get in Richardson's between his ears and
Mm-hmm.
figure out what's what. They've abused him. They've abused, the team has abused him from this perspective. You brought him in as a rookie, the number 4 pick. He had no competition. The prior
Mm-hmm.
owner, rest his soul, said
Mm-hmm.
if we'd had number 1 pick, we would have got that guy.
Mm-hmm.
No competition until this year. This is year 3, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Too late, too
Um,
damn late, Colts. That's why I
it,
say
it ain't
the general
it ain't
manager.
it ain't never too late. Look at Darnell Arnold. Look at Daniels. Look at Gino. Look how many years they've been in, and they're finally getting it. With Richardson, I think the problem is you throw him
They
in the
give you
fire
Rich.
too early.
They coming at you. But no, listen,
I tell
man.
you, I wouldn't bet on the Steelers making the playoffs either.
But
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 I'm not gonna troll. I'm gonna be serious. I'm
but here's
gonna be
no, that's
serious.
okay.
I'm
But
gonna
here's
troll
the
out
deal.
of it.
But here's the deal, though. They've got at least a manageable quarterback. The Colts got a scrappy dude that's a grandfather that was sitting on his porch at Golden Corral in a rocking chair eating at the buffet, man.
So let's talk about next year. Richardson, you know, at the beginning of the year, I was not excited about Daniels. I wanted Richardson to start. I did not want Daniels. I was adamant, no Daniels. First 5, 6 games, Daniels proved me, okay, I can go with it.
Hey, this is an interactive show. JB wants your apology. JB said you need to apologize to the Tide.
What?
He just said it.
Why should I apologize to the Tide? They're not going to beat Oklahoma. They won't beat Indiana.
I think the conversation was about getting into the playoffs.
I didn't say they wouldn't make the playoffs. I just said I was happy that the Tide lost. I just said that the Tide shouldn't have been in the playoffs because that was my fandom talking. But realistically, I said I understand the situation. I understand that they got in
to apologize.
Yes, I need to apologize. Yeah. But I understand. I told you that earlier. I understand why the Tide got in. I'm disappointed that they got in, but I understand. I can see both sides of the argument of why Notre Dame didn't make it and why Notre Dame should have made it. The Tide should have made my time. You know what? We've been talking about this for a week, like you said now. They are so happy that we're still talking about this.
But it ain't going away. Did you seen? Listen, you're in the same groups I'm in. The threads don't stop. It's like it's like one of those Saturday nights at Harper's, man. We can't. Hey, that's all there.
Okay.
See, I don't get off the rails like this until you're around.
Man, I was trying to be professional. I said, look, he invited me on the show. I'm gonna be a little professional. I'm not gonna be on here talking about everybody, trolling everybody.
But you know what, though? We also can have
Reese
fun.
is trying to make me troll.
This is what we do, right? We talk about it. You know, we all have some pseudo knowledge of sports and understanding, and it's okay to share those thoughts. But as a pivot, right? I want to because you mentioned it earlier. You talked about the Notre Dame and potential Big Ten. I don't know if Notre Dame has severed their relationship with the ACC. If you had to pick a place for them to go, where do they go? If I've had a knife to your finger, and I'll tell you what, if I took away all your bourbon. And you said you got to give me an answer. What does Notre Dame do next year?
They're gonna stay independent.
Well, but will they play and they'll be independent with a 6-game ACC conference schedule, Big Ten schedule, SEC schedule, or Big 12
They're gonna do it with an ACC schedule. The schedule's already out, and it's not that much better than this year's schedule. But I can see him years coming up after that. That they will probably try to adjust their schedule. Maybe add one more hard game to that schedule to get their strength of schedule up. But like you said, they're going to have to pay money to get out of. Well, they got $50 million. I'm sure they're going to pay somebody $1 million.
You know what I would like to see, and JB makes a good point. And JB and I've had this conversation for the last 3 years. I don't think Notre Dame ever goes completely football to a conference, right? But with what's going on this year, I think there's some upheaval going on. I would like to see, as a resident of the state of Indiana, why can't Notre Dame do home and homes with Purdue and Indiana opposite years, right? It's an Indiana thing, right? And I understand, those teams haven't been good. I get it.
Like Indiana now. Indiana is going to be a top school for the next 4 or 5 years.
Maybe as long as Kurt's there.
Purdue needs to get better. You need to get better. I would like them to see maybe IU, maybe Michigan back on the schedule.
You know, some type of format of that.
Yeah, I like Michigan. Really, the 3 schools that I wish that Notre Dame would play. And Notre Dame did bring back Alabama. Don't they play in a few years?
Yeah, they played because they did a home and home with Arkansas. Then they've got Bama. I forget what year it is, but they've done a pseudo one SEC team a year, right? The home and home, right? Sort of like they did with Nebraska a few years ago as well.
Well, I like that, but I still think you got to get Michigan back on that schedule. I think that you still got to play Florida State. I think
Well,
that you still
Michigan
got
is
to
the
play
region,
Miami.
right? Notre
No,
Dame.
Brendan. Notre Dame don't duck anybody. These schedules are done in advance, 4 years in
But
advance.
they
Just
ducked them.
because
What
you
he's
done
saying
left
is they
your
ducked them early. It's saying they ducked them.
no. Just because you have left whatever college that you cheered for, that I don't know, was it Marshall? I'm not sure who it was. Notre Dame is not ducking anybody. These schedules are done years in advance, and you have to
What
pay
about
money
this,
where you
Reggie? What about this? Notre Dame's, you're up in South Bend. You got, to your point, you got Michigan. They also used to play Michigan State.
Yes, they did.
So that's what I'm saying. You know, you got some regional touch that you can hit on. Play Penn State. Penn
Mm-hmm.
State was an independent, just like Notre Dame, for years
Mm-hmm.
and years and years before they get to Big Ten. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you got some regional appeal that you can hit on, that you don't have to go jump into the ACC into a 10-year-old sandlot. You
I
know,
agree. I agree.
and you know, and that's what I think they need to do if they're going to have some type of a respect. And here's the thing: what I saw this week was, you know, people say, "Well, you're hating Notre Dame." Well, there's nothing to hate on. They haven't done anything to hate. But what I'm telling you, people are aware of the backroom deals that they're making. This thing wouldn't have came out about their 6 games against the ACC and all their other sports 100% ACC if they wouldn't have made such a big deal about the playoffs and then, you know, take their ball and go home. So they brought some of this on
Hold on,
themselves.
hold on. It's another subject. You're not talking about taking my ball and go home when other schools have did it. The
No, I'm
players
knocking them
don't
all.
want to
I'm
play.
knocking them
The
all.
play, the play. No, the players. That's so. I'm at my job. Listen, I'm at my job. If I stay past 6 in the morning, that's overtime. Those players on them NIL deals that are about to go pro, they played their 11 or 10 games. If somebody put on my timeline today, I don't remember who it was. I think it was Tim Cottrell. I can't remember who it was, but he made a good point that I agree with. If you want these players to play, that's overtime. You got to pay me extra because I may hurt my knee in this game and I
We
can't get
ain't there
done.
yet. Well, that's why they've got the opt-outs though, Reggie. They got freshmen and they got sophomores on those. All those teams that opted out was seven of them. I think it was 7. All those teams have freshmen. They've got. Here's the deal. Just hear this out. These schools now have early enrollees. They've got early
Mhm,
enrollees that come at the end of this month. They've got
mhm.
20 practices that those guys could get valuable work in going into next year. They've got sophomores. They've got my power going out. They got sophomores that didn't play a whole lot.
Right.
That no
Hey,
you got to
they
listen to
don't
the
even
whole
know
thing.
they don't even know if they're going to be there. They may hit the transfer portal.
But listen,
You
you got to
don't even know if they're
understand
going to
this,
be there.
man. That's valuable time for a lot of those players. And I'm not saying all those players wanted to play. I'm sure they didn't. But
Mhm.
I bet you there are many that did want to play because they know it's going to help them. So if I'm those 7 schools, including Notre Dame, I'm calling them out, man. I'm calling them
What
out.
do what do kids in Indiana do in the summer to
Esau
prepare
Wireless is
for
right.
football?
What do you say? Say it again.
You talking about me? What do uh what do kids in Indiana do in the off season when they can't play football? They have unsanctioned practices that the coach is
Mhm.
not allowed to go to because the sisters and everybody else is there. These colleges are having unsanctioned practices. They have trainers for these kids. These kids are still working out. Yeah, you got 20 formal practice sessions. Don't never believe these kids ain't continuing to work out. Don't believe the coaches ain't checking in. You hitting the wet ball.
Formalized though, Reggie. This is strategic, led by coaches. This isn't going in your high school
Yeah.
football field and throwing with your guys. We're talking about legitimate practices and opportunity. And I'm not again. This isn't about Notre Dame. This is about all 7 schools. I think it
So
was 7.
let me ask you this. Probably one of the best players on Notre Dame team is Love, correct?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So
there's no probably. He's the best running back in the country, and he's probably a
so
top 5 pick.
he plays in this bowl game and tears
He ain't
his
gonna play.
ACL.
He would opt out. I'm not talking about guys like him. I'm talking about underclassmen. I'm not talking.
Mhm.
Jeremiah Love would be foolish. You remember who else played in a meaningless bowl game from Notre Dame? who had a
Yeah.
hairline fracture from the city of Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my point, we're not talking about upperclassmen. I'm talking about guys that are getting on campus. Every year, these high-power schools request these players to early enter to get a start.
Mhm.
So what do you now? Now you're gonna sit there and say, "Hey, Darrell Coughlin Sr., I need you to early enroll so we can get you going early." Okay, I'm going to early enroll. Now it's going to affect his high school. He's not going to prom. He's leaving his friends, and then all of a sudden you say, "Nah, we mad. We ain't get to go to the playoffs. We mad. We didn't like this." What type of tomfoolery is that? I'm calling BS on the coaches. You selling a pipe dream, and you made the decision. I don't like that, man.
I hadn't really listened to see what Freeman has to say about this, but I will have to
100%,
think
JB.
that either they let the players vote on this, or either the AD made the decision without nobody else's input and did it itself. I would be interested to know who
I
made
heard
the
the story
decision.
I heard was the coaches, they talked to the players, and many of the upperclassmen said they didn't want to play. But all right, I'm gonna flip you on this. Oh, so now it's September the 26th. It's the Friday before a big game. Your upperclassmen say, "Hey, coach, man, I'm just not feeling. We're gonna probably sit down. I'm not gonna play." You just gave him a damn chance, an opportunity to make a decision on some garbage. But now come September, it's hot outside, or better yet, it's practice time. It's a Tuesday. We ain't practicing today, coach. You gave us an option last year. The option stays. We'll catch you. We'll catch you tomorrow. What do you say about that?
Right. Hey,
Hey
look.
man, you gotta be careful. Listen, I
Look,
understand NIL and I
look.
understand the transfer portal, but the boss is still has the head coach's hat on. So when you give these young men, just like our kids, oh, you can stay up till 11 o'clock at night on a Friday night. Guess what's going to happen on Sunday night? Hell, they're going to think they can stay up till 11 o'clock on Sunday night. Nah, you gave me
Mm,
the chance on Friday. I'm staying up. Now you got to get your belt
nah,
out. You know,
that didn't happen in my house.
my
But what I'm
point
gonna say,
being
that
is,
I understand both sides of what you're saying. I
yeah,
understand both sides, and different institutions are gonna have different ways of dealing with that situation.
I do,
But
JB.
these kids nowadays, load management. James. Did I say James' name with
We're
load
talking, we
management?
stay on football. We stay on.
Okay, okay. Well, these kids in the load
I want to get
management
canceled.
now, these load management kids.
Sammy
This
Terry.
is the problem with the injuries and everything. Low top high uh, um, shoes, and the kids are not training in multiple sports anymore. You used to have kids training in baseball, football, and basketball. Now they concentrate on one sport. I think if you can play three sports, it's going to make your body that much prepared for the one sport you want to concentrate on when you get older, because it's going to know how to use
Competition.
it.
It's competition. You may not make it in that league. Now what?
Yeah.
You've got some one of the famous guys, Darrell Strawberry, played all three
Mhm,
sports. Guy asked him
mhm,
when he was playing with the Mets, "What would you have done if you're not a baseball player?" I would have been in the NBA.
mhm,
That's how good he was. It was
mhm,
in the NBA.
mhm,
But
mhm,
everybody's not that good. But he played all the sports,
mhm,
right? So
mhm.
yeah, for me, I agree. I agree 100%, man. But with that said, though, man,
Oh,
you got to
hold on
do
real quick,
something.
Daryl. Hold on, Daryl. I know we're on football, but you see JB's comment? Basketball is playing too fast. You know why I disagree with that? What
Was
about
that?
the Showtime Lakers? Did they get up and down the court? What about the
But they
86
wasn't
Philadelphia
they wasn't throwing
76ers?
themselves on the floor though either though. They wasn't like somebody breathed on them, they arms in the air and doing somersaults and all. And again, this is about 80 to 90 players in the league. This ain't about one player. Half the league does it now. So it's
Playing much faster back in the day. The Philadelphia 76ers of 86, they were up and down that court. What about old boy for the Phoenix Suns? He wanted a three-pointer or a shot up every 3 seconds or every
yeah.
five
Well, you
seconds.
got coaches like that now though. But here's the thing: you got coaches like that who aren't going to be there long because that's ridiculous. Boston, their goal is to have 53s a night. It may have
Wow.
changed because Tatum's not there. But last year, I
Mm.
know I was on Crossroads and we were talking about it. Your goal is 53s a night. That's too much,
Wow.
man. That's too
Hey,
much.
I like it better when they up and down the court. I love when
Yeah.
the Pacers get up and down. Take the ball out the net. Let's get a McConnell, steal the ball in the inbound. I love when teams get up and down. That lets you know, are you in shape
Well,
or are you in
that's
basketball
if you
shape?
remember, that's what we did when we played at West Montgomery. You running all day because you're in
Mm-hmm.
shape. If you're not in shape, guess
Mm-hmm.
what's going to happen? You get ready on the sideline, and I
Mm-hmm.
got next. I got five next down the line.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
yeah, being in shape is critical.
you had your high top converts on. I've only known one person that thought playing in low tops was a good idea, and that was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He felt like that was the problem with some of the injuries back in the day. Back in the day, all the players played in high top shoes. I still think these fragile kids, somebody put on my timeline that these kids ain't eating neck bones and turnip greens anymore. They're eating raw eggs and protein shakes, and the bones are not building up the muscle. So
Well, it's just
I don't know about that.
it's I feel like it's too much. I call it paralysis by analysis. They got all these strategic things. They got all these workout partners and plans and strategic coaches and all of that. Listen, the great Isaiah Thomas said this. It just really resonated because they were talking about how Steph Curry and all these guys do the two ball drills, right? And
Mhm.
I'll admit I had Tornado doing two ball drills too. But Isaiah said something really simple and really profound. He said, "Man, as long as I played basketball, we only played with one ball. I don't need two balls." I'm serious. Look at it. I'll find a clip. And no better player at the guard position like that than Isaiah
But
Thomas.
you know what though, Kai? These kids don't get outside. When you get outside, you said West Montgomery Park. Look at Oscar Robinson in the Dust Bowl. Look at
Yeah,
these players. Look at some of the parks that Isaiah played in Chicago. Look at the players that come out of New York back in the day. You used to hear stories about them snatching quarters off the backboard, off the top, and everything.
yeah.
They played outside. Our kids go to training and they come home in the game. They don't go outside. That's a
Yeah.
big difference. And I think playing outside will build the muscles up too also. I don't know,
Well,
man. I
and
don't know.
we and that's a whole other topic. We can get on that one another one. That's just a good one. But the thing with me is this: to JB's point, big man's been nullified, right? You got 7 foot guys trying to shoot three. You got your biggest, big softest flopping. I cannot stand Joel Embiid's game. This dude is 7'2", 280 pounds. This dude trying to do step back threes.
Mm,
He is hurting the Philadelphia 76ers,
mhm,
because he's a slow player. They got
mhm.
Tyrese Maxey. They've got the kid, the rookie they picked up, the rookie, I forget his name. Him, and you got guy, and Paul George, like he wants to start playing. They getting up and down the court, So I just
See,
think like this,
sure,
man.
Zach 80 had 42 points in a game.
That
Did
was
I
what
see that?
last week. But here's the thing.
And I didn't see the game and I didn't see the clip. Did he shoot threes or was he inside?
I didn't Edgecombe. That's it. VJ Edgecombe. The dude, he was. I want to say it was either Jamaica or one of the island, maybe one of the U.S. Locations. But the dude Edgecombe and Maxey, they are. I don't know what they're gonna do about Joel Embiid. He's holding them up
Mm,
big time,
mm.
big time.
The
But the
contract
thing
is
is,
big.
because now, hey, the post game is no longer a thing. It's all about 5 out, ISO in the corner or drive. And Kid, how many times you seen the drive? The guy's got a layup or a pull up at 8 to 10 feet.
And throw it back
He
for
kicks
three
it
point.
out to a three.
So let me ask you a question. If KD and Wemby played back in the day, would you tell them to go in there and post up?
Absolutely, because that's what it was then. It wasn't an option. That's my
What if
point.
Wemby? What if they had the skills that they have now, and they had the skills back in the
Well,
day? Would
there
you
were
still
big
tell
guys
them?
that had ball handling skills there, maybe not to the extent, but the game then wasn't played like it is now. So I hear people say, well, you can't compare the two though. They were
True.
just so
True.
separate deals, right? But for me, I don't listen, if you're a center, you shoot a three here or there, hell, okay, fine. But man, this is their game though.
Mhm.
The perimeter game. And did you see, and let me go my quick rant here real quick. Did you see the kid from Duke, the flagrant foul merchant from Duke, take 5 steps? And the dude tried to argue me. He said, "No, that's 2 steps, a gather, and a step through. Hell, that's 4 just by itself. 2 steps, a gather, and he said that's legal. Yeah, it's legal, but they say, well, these older players couldn't play in today's league. No, are you kidding me? Can you imagine if Dr. J, Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, Sean Kemp, exciting players like Jerome Kersey could take 4 or 5 steps and to be okay?
Even Dan from Phoenix, if he could take extra steps, yeah.
Did you see that play? The flagrant foul merchant, I forget his name.
No, I missed it. I'm gonna have to go take a look at it. You talking about Grayson?
Man, you're Grayson out. I'll tell you what, you're gonna call me and cuss me out.
I heard about he pushed somebody.
Dude, he took a run, hop, and a step through, and no call. And the announcer's like, great move. That's ridiculous. Because JB said he thinks he's good. He's a guard. It's about Wemby. No, I'm telling you. But my point, man, I'm not trying to get off my lawn, guy. But that's the thing, man. If guys in the 70s and 80s could take 4 steps and it says that's a basketball play, there's no comparison.
Yeah.
Man, Darrell Hillman is one of my favorite Pacers. One of the most athletic Pacers ever. Wasn't the most talented basketball player, but if he could play in this era, he's right with these guys. He's 18-7.
Hey, man, they talk about how good the skillful players are nowadays. Well, let's go back a little bit. Instead of all hands off guarding them, let them go back to putting the elbow on them for a little bit.
See, that's the other thing, Reggie. That's called freedom of movement because you got to have a free-flowing game.
Yeah, let's see if they can deal with that because they're so good, skillful wise now. Let's bring that rule back and see what Earl the GOAT was a bad dude.
Yeah,
Earl the GOAT was a bad dude.
And that's all I'm saying, man. I'm not to get off my lawn. It was better when we played. No. If the things are given in the same errors, the same allowances, I'm sorry, man. I'll take my 90s guys all day long and twice on Sunday. I just would because they're smarter. These guys make some of the dumbest plays you see in basketball. Some of the dumbest plays. I don't want to get on that rant. That's crazy.
Can you imagine playing for Billy Cunningham back in the day and you got an open layup and you pass the ball back for a 3-pointer?
Man, Jack Ramsey, you out the game. Hey, Slick Leonard would probably fight you in the locker room. But no, man, it's good stuff. But I don't want to miss out on our boys. I want to hit on the Pacers, man. We've had a tough season so far. Looks like Shepard's out now for 4 weeks. With a calf strain. Ben Shepard's out for 4 weeks. Give me a breakdown on the Pacers, man. What should they do? What's going on with the Pacers? Give me your best prediction and words for what you think about the Pacers this season.
Before the injuries, Pacers wouldn't have made the playoffs. Even with Tyrese and Miles gone, they wouldn't have made the playoffs. Now, I see both sides of it. I kind of want them to lose a little bit to get a high draft pick. But, man, we got 25 games to go to. I don't want them to lose the games that I go to.
Hey, look, here's what I told Mark my team. I said, here's what I want. I want the Pacers to continue to play hard. There's no harder playing Pacer or player than Pascal Siakam. Play hard, be very competitive. Play your young guys, like I said before, right? But man, then you go out and you see them play against Sacramento, and you see them play when they won against who did they beat the other Bulls? Yeah, dude, he's like, man, there's something there. But the flip is, remember what Golden State did when they got the second pick and it was James Wiseman. They were terrible. That next year they won the title.
Right.
Because they had
James Wiseman.
They got healthy.
He wasn't the reason that they won the title.
They got healthy. They got healthy though, right? And they got healthy, and those younger players that they had that were playing got better. You remember our guy that they traded after Draymond punched him in the face. The guard. The guard that was at Golden State that Draymond punched in the face. He got better. He got better because the other guys are out, right? So what I'm saying is Let the young guys play, and let's see what happens, man. Yeah, we
But you
want
got
them
to
to
see,
win.
you got to see what's going to happen with Cam Jones. You got to see what's going to happen with I like that kid they picked up, Ethan Thompson. That one 3-point shooter that they picked up on a 10-day contract. You can let him go.
Yeah.
Shepard needs to get back to being coming off the bench, being comfortable. Walker needs to come back to being. I like Ethan Thompson starting, and I like Jarris Walker coming off the bench. That's probably your better lineup.
Here's your
Avoiding
problem. If you're going to have Jarris Walker coming out the bench, just understand he won't be a Pacer next year. I mean, year after next.
Probably not.
He was a 6th pick. You listen. It's politics in the NBA. And I'm just saying.
What pick was Obi Toppin?
No, Obi Toppin was a first round pick for the Knicks. What
was Nesmith's pick?
Nesmith was a first round pick for Boston in the trade.
It don't always work out with the team that draft you. That's what I'm saying.
I understand that, but you got to try to get some capital. You know what I'm saying? You got to try and get some capital, though, is what I'm saying.
You may not. What did Boston get us from Nesmith? What did we give up for Obi Toppin?
You know what they did for the Boston trade. That's when they traded the often injured point guard Malcolm Brogdon to Boston.
Yeah,
and we got Nicholas back, and we got a number 1 pick.
Huh? We were glad they traded him. We were glad Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah, those of us who watch, yeah, some people weren't though, right? But I think big picture wise, I think it's the season's going to be up and down. I say between 25-ish wins is where they're going to be. But I tell you, I need them to be in that top 3 come June.
Okay,
I need them in the top 3, man. I love my boy. We clown, but I need him in the top 3.
I'm gonna tell you something. How many wins there right now? 9. How many wins there? 6.
I don't think they're at 9. Let me see here. Let me see what we got.
The first part of the season, the Pacers have had one of the hardest schedules starting off with. Even with players healthy, I thought they were going to be below 500 for the first 15 or 20 games, just because of how hard the schedule was.
6-18. Pacers were 6-18.
I think that with players start coming back, especially after the new year, just like previous years, when they start making a run, I think the white guys starting to fit in a little bit. I could see them with 30 wins. You said 25. I could see them with plus or minus 30
but
wins.
Here's the thing. If you're going to be just good enough to get into the play-in, man, that is not what I feel. Now, the organization's okay with that. I get it. So I'm not okay with it.
So why isn't playing game good enough for your young Pacers, but, to get that extra training, but you want these other players in football to get these extra 20 practices in. Seems like a double standard.
Because they're not where they need to be. They're not developed yet. They're not in the league yet. They're trying to get there.
These young players in basketball are in the league, but they're not developed yet. So a play-in game in the playoffs, hey, that would be beneficial to them.
Listen,
I'm just saying the same argument you use for football.
Listen, I get what you're saying, but there's no way in the hell I want the Pacers in a play-in game, play-in series to lose, to then get the 18th pick versus maybe a 3rd or 4th pick. No.
When has the lottery ever, besides Reggie Miller, when has the lottery ever worked out for the Pacers?
No, Ben Matherin's good. Rick Smits. I mean, it's not. They've not been all-time greats of ever, but no, you're talking about good players. What I'm saying is you got to have the talent, right? Mm-hmm. And you still got to have a center. Okay, yes, J Huff. Hey, he's got great YMCA.
He's a role player. He's a role player.
We need a center, and you need capital to be able to go get one.
So I guess you hadn't seen the latest reports about the center in the LA Clippers and maybe up on the trading blocks of the Pacers are kicking. You don't like him either?
Doesn't move the needle. I mean, he's a good player. He's not a bum. He's a good player. Just
so you say like him and Jason Hall have the same skill set, basically.
He's a better version of him. Yeah.
Okay.
But for me, as we wrap up, man, one of the things I say is this, man. We'll see what the season plays out at, right? You're not gonna sit guys for extended time just to try to tank. Pacers aren't going to do that, right? But that's why I want the young players being able to play. And let's see what happens, and we'll go from there.
I agree with you.
You know, but
So
no, but no, man. I'm glad you came on with me. We've been talking about this for a minute, and yeah, man, I'm hot off the airplane, man. And I tell you, you know,
I'll be
that's
glad to come back any day you need me. But I will do it from home where I won't get interrupted on my interruption on my internet. But I'm gonna say this: you invited me on. You said we're gonna do 30 minutes. We did an hour and 4 minutes. I need you to pay me a little overtime. I need a
tell
little
you what.
overtime.
Tell you what, I'm on Cash App it to you, and I got you. Don't worry, I got you. Hey, for everybody, hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in, watching the show. We're gonna have some clips go up on the Game Time Network.org. My good guy Reggie Sykes is in the house with me. He didn't troll, but maybe once or twice. I'm so proud of you, man. I tell you what, since I'm so proud of you on the 18th, beers on me. Beers on me. Thanks for everybody for watching. We appreciate y'all for coming on the show. Stay tuned for more clips, more opportunities for us on the Game Time Network. See the barcode, scan the QR code, like and subscribe. We're trying to do great, big things in the city, and we're trying to bring on a lot of local names that people are familiar with. But again, thanks a lot for the show. Appreciate you coming in, Reggie. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
You also.